Hey everybody, so I just checked out the Vivo Apex 2019. Now if you follow smartphone news closely, you know that phone already. That it was announced in China I think a month ago. It was that phone with no speaker grills, no earpiece, no buttons, no nothing. Now you follow my YouTube channel, you know that I've already covered a similar device, the Meizu Zero. And even though I was very impressed by this phone's kind of ambition, I found it very hard to use because all the compromises that you have to come up with to get around having no buttons and speaker grills, stuff like that was very hard to handle. Now, I'm happy to say the Vivo Apex 2019, it's a little bit more polished than the Meizu Zero, so it's a little bit easier to use. So first of all, the Vivo Apex 2019's capacitive buttons are a little bit easier to use because you don't have to press into it as hard as you do with the Meizu Zero. On the Vivo Apex 2019, also when the display is on, there will be a little symbol showing you where the button is at, compared to the Meizu Zero where there's nothing showing you where the buttons are. So that means I found that when I was using this phone, it's very hard for me to find the buttons. Now the second big improvement of the Vivo Apex 2019 is that the phone has an in-display fingerprint reader, but in-display fingerprint reader takes up the entire screen. So that means you can press your finger on any part of the Vivo Apex's completely bezeled display and you'll be able to unlock the phone and get into the device. Now, on the Meizu Zero and on a lot of other phones now like the Samsung Galaxy S10 or the OnePlus 6T, the in-display fingerprint reader, it's in a tiny portion of the bottom half of the screen. And I find that it's not just me, a lot of people say the same thing, that sometimes when you're not looking at the phone, it's hard to find the fingerprint scanner by touch. So you're like trying to unlock the phone just to realize you didn't unlock. With the Vivo Apex 2019, you have no such problem because all you have to do is put your finger on the screen, anywhere on the screen, and it'll unlock. And since you have such a large scanning canvas, Vivo has made it so you can register 2 fingerprints at once too. Now why would you want to do that? It's a little bit hardcore, but you know, it makes it a little bit more secure because you can use 2 fingers to unlock the phones. Now, unfortunately, the Vivo Apex 2019 does not support wireless charging. Vivo says it's because they won't wait until the tech matures a bit. So right now, you can only charge the phone using this Mac port on the back. I think it's a little bit weird. I would prefer to just use wireless charging because the Mac port, it's a peripheral plug that you need to bring along with you. But at least Vivo says it can top up the phone's battery really fast at 18 watts. Now you remember that on the Meizu Zero, since there was no speaker grills, sound vibrated through the screen at me. And for the most part, I thought the sound wasn't that good because there was a lot of distortion when you listen to bass or overall volume was a little bit low. I'm happy to report that the Vivo Apex 2019 has a better speaker technology. As you can see here, sound's coming out pretty loud and clear, and I didn't hear any distortion. Now granted, I've only had limited time testing the phone, so maybe I listen to something a bit more heavy like bass, like Notorious B.I.G. or something, I'll hear distortion. So in terms of specs, the Vivo Apex 2019 has a Snapdragon 855 chipset inside with 12 gigs of RAM. 12 gigs of RAM, that's insane. So the phone is really zippy, but unfortunately it still runs Vivo's software, which I don't love. Now according to Vivo, the phone is also 5G ready. So it has Qualcomm's Snapdragon X50 5G modem in there, so you can connect to 5G whenever that tech becomes available. So Vivo Apex 2019 looks pretty cool, but here's a giant caveat. The phone, it's a concept device, so that means it is not going to be released to the market. You might remember that last year, Vivo introduced the Vivo Apex, the one with the pop-up camera. That phone never hit the market too. So now the good news is, Vivo may eventually release a phone similar to what we see here, the Vivo Apex 2019, but it'll probably be called a Vivo Nex or something. To be honest, I don't really care about the Mac port charging or like the capacitive buttons. Like, I think just having a physical button is fine, but what I'm excited about is that entire screen fingerprint scanner. I like to be able to just unlock my phone without looking and just putting my finger anywhere. And the 2-finger unlock I think is pretty cool too. So the Vivo Apex 2019, it's a concept device that is meant to show off future technology. We know that Apple, you know, Apple's all about minimalism, so if Apple can have its way, it will probably make an iPhone similar to this in a few years with no ports, no nothing. So Vivo, just like Meizu, just kind of pumped out a concept device to look into the future, but it's not a phone meant for you to use. At least not right now in March 2019. Maybe by like June or July, you'll be able to use a phone like this because you know how fast these Chinese companies move, man. They just pump out products left and right. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching.